So it is no warmer today than it was yesterday by any degree of anything. But, I started the heater hours before I actually came out here to talk to you today. And as a result, I think my camera's overheating. So we're going to make this quick just across the board for all of these reasons. And, I guess that makes some people that watch my channel happy. It's weird because, like, why are you here if you're not okay with me just randomly talking about whatever I want? But I will tell you what we are talking about, like the point of the video and all the things, in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for week 14 of year 3. And this week we are working on talking about all things business related, how to market your soapy journey if you decide to make your hobby into a business, whether you should make your hobby into a business, and kind of pros and cons coming from somebody that has been in said soapy business thing for a very long time. Now, obviously, from the very beginning, lot of qualifiers here. I don't know your situation specifically, and so this is going to be kind of anecdotal stuff coming from me, just watching the market, watching the trends, watching how people market things, how I have marketed things over the years, what has worked, what hasn't worked, and realistically, what you should be doing or thinking about in 2023 when it seems like everybody and their dog have decided to take on this soapy journey. Take that information, with a huge grain of salt, for sure, because this is just me talking to you. So today what we are going to do is we are going to focus on buzzwords, really, in how you decide to market your business. And this kind of feathers in nicely to yesterday's topic when we were talking about specifically palm oil free and if you should make your business that and then market it palm oil free. There are a lot of other ways that people want to start marketing their business, especially in the very beginning, because I think as you're getting your footing underneath you, you're trying to figure out what actually makes you stand apart from your neighbor that makes soap or your friend group that also makes soap. Like, what makes your soap different and better? And so you start running the list. Well, what is it? My soap is phthalate free. My soap is paraben free. My soap is animal fat free. My soap, all of the things. And so I get it, and I get the desire to want to do that. And so we're going to talk about that and sort of whether or not that's a good idea to market your businesses that way, the pros, the cons, the things that I've observed, as I said, over the years of doing this, and also watching others come and go within this field. So let's get to the video and I will talk about, all of that. Okay, so first up, obviously, there is nothing wrong with marketing your company as, free from X, Y, or Z. Take like phthalates and parabens, for example. Something that you should, I feel, pay attention to within your line and not include, fragrances that have phthalates or, parabens in them. But marketing it needs to come in a way that's actually authentic. What I mean by that is you need to know what that actually means, right? Because people will ask if you are putting that on your marketing material at a booth, if you are putting that in your about section on your website or every single piece of copy, you need to know what that means to you and what that means generally and why it's important to you and therefore to your end user that you don't have products that contain X, Y, or Z. And also that you are marketing it in a way that is not putting yourself against, like another company like Dove or Ivory or Lush or Johnson & Johnson or whatever. It needs to be coming from you, and you need to have that information in hand in order to educate your customers. Things can't be used as strictly buzzwords. Now, this is not to say that you shouldn't, mention that your products are phthalate-free or paraben-free or gluten-free. If you have made an active effort in your company to ensure that you are not including any of these, kind of known carcinogens or, things that could hurt skin, i.e., gluten sensitivities, then yeah, definitely have that information on your website somewhere, but do it in such a way that, is giving info to your customers and not at the expense of your competition, not belittling your competition because, well, they do it and I don't. Because I'm speaking from experience when I say that just sounds petty. So do not, compare yourself to Buff City or Lush or whatever else exists out there, because your customers will look at that and go, oh, well, they don't really have anything to stand on if they're having to, prove their worth based on the problems that exist within another company. So do keep that in mind. And I also strongly recommend using these, buzzwords or whatever in places for information only, unless your entire business plan was created, excluding these things because you want to hit a certain target market. Now, like for example, with the palm oil thing yesterday, I mentioned a drop in the ocean. She doesn't market herself as palm oil free. She is a sustainable living company. She's part of the eco warrior lifestyle, wherein we are reducing the impact that we as humans have on this world. And because of the palm oil problems, that feathers in very nicely into her products. Also, another example is me and my vegan line. I do make vegan soaps. I don't use animal fats in my soaps because that's my target market. That is the audience that, lives here. And so when people come into my shop, they expect to see, just plant-based soaps. And also, it's an important part of my life because my child has been a vegetarian for, a couple years. And so this is something that is important to me that I do keep in my copy, but I don't put it in my copy as if animal byproducts are wrong. And I say specifically animal byproducts are wrong and talk about that because at one point in time, I did have that in my copy and it was not nice. It was very cringe and it was wrong. Customers do not react favorably to pitting one method of soap making against another method of soap making, again, in order to prove your quality. Basically, you gain their trust by knowing your shit and having you, like who you are and the passion that you have for this thing that you're doing within your marketing, within your products, within everything. So that level of care, as long as you are showing that, it's really not necessary to be leading with, again, I am free of all of this and other people aren't, so therefore better. Honestly, as far as like parabens and phthalates and gluten and, all of that goes, the average consumer really doesn't care. That is not how they're shopping. That's not what they're looking for right now. Even though they are very educated, most people are not shopping for soap because of that, unless they have, a specific allergy. So they are specifically avoiding certain products, which is a whole ass reason to be starting a soap company. And so if you started it specifically because of an allergy and all of your products do not contain this allergen or these allergens, absolutely lead with that copy because that's your target market. And you've already established that that's your target market right then and there off the bat. And I understand why people would want to sort of lean into, well, I mean, the fragrance companies are saying that they're proud to be, phthalate free or whatever. So I'm going to say that I'm that too in the beginning stages because you haven't really figured out who you are, what your target market is, what really makes you stand out from your competition, of which there is a lot these days. I do get that. But putting these, what, again, I continue to call them buzzwords because that's what they become when you're just using them as, well, this is why my soap is better, that's not showing your authentic self and who you are and what you bring to the table as a soap maker, and, why you enjoy your scents or your soaps or your products or whatever. And the customers will see through that. So that would be my biggest advice, is first figure out your target market. And I've told this story before, when Mr. Webman asked me what my target market was, and I said everyone, because we all need to use soap. That wasn't really accurate, right? I can't make soap for all 7 billion people on the planet. I had to start sort of figuring out where I fit in all of this and why I think my stuff is cool. And the best way to do that is to look at yourself. What interests you in the soap making process? Make that part of your marketing. It's wildly more important to be, the face of your business and the voice of your business and show a side of you. You need to be represented in this business, especially in 2023, wherein we seem to have personal relationships with all of these people that make our cosmetics and our soaps and our lotions and our tennis shoes and all of the things. So I do think that, making sure that you are represented within your copy and your passion will be much more effective than just stating this stuff is better because, it's not Ivory or Dove or Lush. Honestly, when it comes down to it, in 2023, where, a lot of people are making soap, your soap being marketed solely and, first as it's free of X, Y, or Z is not going to be something that the customers are even going to read. They're going to gloss over that because it's you and 95% of the other soap makers that exist on the market that can say that their soaps are free of X, Y, or Z. So instead of focusing on what your soap does not contain, maybe focus on what your soap does contain. Our products do contain, skin-loving oils and butters and clays and whatever, carefully and thoughtfully formulated by you, a person that wanted to get into this industry and do the soapy journey for a reason. Tell them that reason. Be your authentic self. It will not come across as cringe or petty or disingenuous if you are presenting yourself, which is the easiest thing in the world to be, right? You. And your customers will see that. The people that will be your customer base will gravitate to that. And that's how you're going to build your clientele. You're not going to reach every person in the world, but you will reach the people that will keep your soapy journey, afloat by being you, would be my recommendation. And honestly, again, this is all just me and my anecdotal stuff or whatever. I don't know your situation, but this is just my experiences and my observations from having done this for a very long time and having made these mistakes and looking back on them going, yeah, no, that was cringe. My business did the best when I just presented, me. And yeah, there it is. Fast and dirty, just my take on parabens and phthalates and marketing your business free of these things and the benefits and consequences of doing that. Ultimately, as I said, I understand it because you probably don't have the confidence in yourself at the very beginning stages of starting your business to say, hey, this soap is good and it doesn't have to be better than this other person. Because in reality, all soap is basically the same. But I don't know that it's the best route to take to say, I am paraben free and other people they have the parabens. I am phthalate free, but other people have that. Or my personal favorite, I am vegan and they use animal byproducts, which is one of my most cringeworthy moments because I did market my business like that at some point and I didn't like it. Going back and rereading some of that, I'm like, oh, that was your copy? Mm-mm. But ultimately, gaining confidence in yourself, what it is that you do, the niche that you have within the soaping world, and really marketing that, I think is going to make your business more successful than anything else. Remember, this is your journey, and what everybody else is doing really kind of doesn't matter. As long as you are showing this product that you are proud of, that you worked on, that you want to, share with the world, and you're excited about it, I think that's going to benefit your business a whole lot more than trying to compare yourself to anyone else, including Lush. Also marketing that I did. And ultimately, as I said in the video, none of that mattered, right? Like, for the most part, people don't even read that copy and, paraben, phthalate free and all of the stuff. They'll buy either way, as I noticed when I took all of that off of my website. People are still buying, And when you spend your entire life comparing yourself to another business or how somebody else makes their soap, at some point it just starts making you look real petty and weird. So again, just keep away from the cringe. Also been informed that cringe is no longer something that's said. So, cool. Anyway, I hope you guys had a good time today. I hope you learned some stuff, all of the things. I really am going to go. This camera is like blinking at me real hard. It's real mad at me because the thing is the heater there, it's pointed directly at the height of the camera, which is weird because it should probably be lower on the heat rise. It's all a thing. So I'm freezing to death right here, but the camera's nice and warm. So I'm going to go so I can turn it off and go, warm myself. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you to the sudsers for being here and being my friend and being awesome, because I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you guys are having fun with the most recent, soap challenge that I gave you. I still have not figured out how to do it, and I've been like avoiding the Discord as a result, but so far this is kind of what I have. I just have little strips of... It's not going to work. But anyway, I am gonna go, and I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.